Mm. Sabbath peace. It's another opportunity for us to come together and hear and learn of the word of truth as given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast, and give it freely as a gift to all who obey him. We understand that if you do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that you do not believe. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, a gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that you may have, it can and it will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said, peace to the saints that are in the room, to the saints that couldn't make it, to the saints watching in on the camera, but no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent that they might live. You know what I'm talking about? You got boys, don't be in there making that noise, you hear me? Let's see, what we talking about last week?
Moses couldn't bring the people over.
Moses couldn't bring the people over. What was Moses doing though?
He's giving a recap.
He giving a recap, right?
Giving a warning.
He is recapping kind of, some of our, you know what I'm saying, some of our travels through the wilderness, right? Because remember, at this point, Moses has gotten us all the way to the door of the promised land. You know what I'm talking about? Moses got it. I mean, he could see it. Remember, he wanted to go up there where the Most High God, what the Most High God told. He was like, why don't you just, you know what I'm saying? We made it this far, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you just, you know what I mean? Can I just go over there? What did he tell him?
Let it suffice thee. Don't ask me about this matter.
He said, don't ask me about that no more. Kind of out of your mom. Don't you ask me again. Don't you ask me about that. You know how your mama used to tell you stuff like that? Most of God was like, don't even ask me about it no more. What did he tell him to do instead?
You can go up there and look.
But, you know what I'm saying? But go up there on top of that mountain and take a look at it. You know what I'm saying? You find you a high place that you can look down from so you can look at it. He's like, that's all you got. Right? And that's what Moses did. He went up there and took a look at it. So at this point, what Moses is doing, since we're so close, and remember, why is it important that he needed to tell us again and recount all of the journeys that we had over the last 40 years?
He ain't gonna be there, so he knows the history of people who always
sheep without a shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he knew. He like, man, I've been trying to protect y'all this whole time. And I ain't gonna be there. Most High God ain't gonna let me go over with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure y'all understand it. But what's another reason?
As a young boy.
It's the young boy. Remember, they've been in the wilderness 40 years, and everybody who was above 20 when they started is dead now. So if you was 20 and above a man, if you was a man, you 20 and above, right? 40 years later, you dead.
Well, if you like 35 at this time, you wasn't even alive when y'all first got into the wilderness.
Yeah. There's boys out there that's 40 years old they don't know nothing about what you talking about. It's a lot of this stuff. It's people younger than 40. It's some, you know what I'm saying? Some boys that's only 20. They 20 now. They have zero idea about what you talking about. They didn't experience none of this foolishness. They don't know what you talking about. So now what he's doing is he's recapping it to make sure, because the experiences that they had, we need to learn from that. All of us. Oh, we grab
1 Corinthians 10.
Yeah, that's what I want. Thank you, because I was thinking I don't know why I was thinking 15. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's 10. It's definitely 10. Oh, Romans 15. Give me both. Romans 15 is what's coming to mind. I was about to say 1 Corinthians 15. It's Romans 15. But give me 1 Corinthians 10, verse 10, right? Verse 9. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 9, probably.
You can start at 1.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Watch this.
Moreover, brothers, I would not have you ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea.
Why is this is Paul talking right now? Why is Paul making this statement right now? Why is he telling us about all our fathers that was under the cloud? What point is he trying to make right now?
You kind of let them know, like, even though you seeing all of these amazing things, you seeing these miracles, and you witnessing like all of this stuff that God is moving, it's like that don't necessarily mean you good.
Man, it's crazy. The people that we reading about in this book, they got to see real miracles. They got to see real stuff happening. No play around stuff, no jokey joke stuff, no people jumping around in church speaking in, you know what I'm saying, what they call tongues, right? They got to see real stuff happening, right? And when they saw those real things, that they brought comfort to themselves. So sometimes you can see some stuff like that, and you can be under the impression, oh, I'm good. I know I'm saved because, well, I mean, let's take Korah for an example. You remember the rebellion of Korah? Part of the issue with him was he was looking like, wait a minute. Most High God called all of us out of Egypt. We all blessed. Moses, you take too much on you. So he elevated himself in his mind to the same stature as Moses, thinking that, well, God treat us all the same. He look at us all the same. He love us all alike. So Moses, I should be able to do what you do. Let me lead the way you lead. Let me do the stuff that you do, right? And what happens is, even though you see in all these miracles, instead of looking at that and be like, oh, I better act and do exactly like this man is talking about, people begin to comfort themselves and think too highly of themselves, right? So then what's happening here is Paul is trying to, let people know, now listen, I know you've been baptized. You probably got a blessing or two that got put on you, and that's great. But no, even our fathers were baptized. They was under the cloud. That's a miracle too, y'all. Let's read it. Watch this.
And all were baptized into Moses in the cloud and the sea, unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was the Messiah. But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples.
He said, these things were what for us?
Our examples.
For what?
To the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted.
Neither
be idolaters as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed and fell in one day 320,000.
What is he talking about when he talking about that fornication fell in one day? 320,000.
What was that? When Balaam gave counsel to.
Remember Balaam set us up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We like to imagine that Balaam, you know what I'm saying, after it's all said and done, he said and did everything the Most High God told him to do. After it was all said and done, he was like, man, what you want me to do? I can't curse these people. I got to say what God wanted to say. You heard what God said, right? Out of my mouth, God made me say that he did not find iniquity in these people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now, if he found iniquity in them, maybe he could curse them. But he can't curse them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you take your women, throw them around there, put them in some little tight little skirts, bring some of your idols around, and maybe they'll start worshiping God. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If that happens, then maybe I can curse them. But I'm just telling you right now, I can't curse them. That's how I like to imagine it kind of playing out, right? And so then Balak pick it up. You know what I'm saying? And he like, all right. So we know for sure, end result, if there's some Moabite women running around, they start committing fornication. In other words, they start messing around with the women and all of that, Most High God get them, right? So he's telling us these things that happened are our examples. So Moses knows this. Remember, Paul is picking this up from Moses. Moses knew this off the bat. He looking like, y'all didn't go through none of this. That's going to be a problem. Because y'all about to go into this land and y'all going to make some of the same mistakes. Let me just go through the whole thing. Let me just run the whole thing by you again. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you understand the key concepts, and then we'll go from there. And hopefully y'all be all right, because I'm not going to be able to go with you. Right? So that's what kind of where we picking up from in Deuteronomy. Remember, we talked a little bit about the giants, right? Because it's kind of an idea. We look at it. Some people struggle with the idea that, man, we reading about the Most High God telling people to kill all men, women, and children. Look, this is the part of the Bible that people don't. These Christians not touching it, because in their mind, it's difficult to understand. And the ones that will touch it, they going to tell you something like, oh, no, it's the Canaanites, you know what I'm saying, evil. Oh, evil like You know, they're like evil like everybody. You be saying that everybody a sinner. Oh, see, see, God, they gonna try to speak out of both sides. And no, see, God, the type of sin that they was committing. But just the other day, you said no sin is greater than other. I'm just trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out which one is. At what point do God get mad enough to do what he told the Israelites to do? When is that going to happen again? Pastor, man, they ain't going to be able to tell you. Because it's not based purely off of just somebody sinning. Right? It's based off of the Most High God will and his judgment. And part of that judgment was, I'm going to let you get all these places that got giants, kill them all. Kill every one of them. Don't spare nobody. So we looked at all the nations that had the giants and how that occurred and where they came from, right? We looked at how the giants actually came from the sons of God, right? We talked about a little bit how, like a lot of that stuff probably come from, like the Greek mythology and all that stuff where you got these half man, half animals and what they call demigods. What's a demigod according to their stuff?
Half God, half human.
Yeah, you might have somebody that's half God, half human. What do you think that might be? A half God, half human. Well, if a Greek person ran around like, man, he's half God, half human, what do you think he was talking about?
Probably talking about a minotaur or something.
No, he was talking about same stuff the book talking about. He talking about the Canaanites.
Yeah.
Right? Because they called the sons of God, they called them gods. To this day, people worship it. You look up, you put a telescope up there and these people looking at the stars and the sky, and then they take that stuff back and they start developing stuff out and they say, you know what, this is your, what they call it, horoscope. Right? It was a dude that, a friend of mine, and I know him, he a real one, he been through some stuff, I done been through some stuff with him and all that, right? I done been in places with him side by side and watch him handle himself. It's a real person, it's a real guy, and he's really from the places that we from, right? This gentleman called me, we're a little bit older, he called me, dead serious. I know what he sound like when he's serious. Man, look, bro, I got taken up by an alien. And they showed me some stuff that I ain't never been shown. And this, that, and the other. And it was at that moment, I'm looking like, oh, you dead serious. It's before he do drugs and stuff now. It's before he started doing all that wild stuff. Like this changed him. I'm looking like, oh, you dead serious. Okay. It made me reshape things. Or maybe it is some aliens. Or maybe it's some sons of God. Right? Maybe they still directly contacting people. Right? When we say sons of God, right, what are we talking about?
Angels.
Kind of what people consider angels, right? It's heavenly beings, right? Celestial beings, these beings that's directly created by God. They not like us, right? They're these beings that's directly created by God. What traditionally people would call angels, right? Don't think about it with the wings and the halo and all that stuff. That's all tradition, right? These beings can look like anything. You know what I'm saying? The book describes them as a whole bunch of different ways, right? They can look like men. They can look like anything, right? All right. So these things is dealing with people, right? People see them. People experience these things. There's a certain drug, right? And a lot of people don't understand like what drugs do. Drugs open your body up to spirits, right? So when you take drugs, what happens is your body, like scientifically, what they're gonna look at is they're gonna be like, oh, your endorphins and your what's the other one? It's like your endorphins and your what's the other happy molecule? It's it's what is it? It's endorphins. Dopamine, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your endorphins, dopamine, all that. You know what I'm saying? That stuff elevate, right? So like scientifically, that's what they measuring. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't measure no spirits or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Really, what's happening is you're inviting certain spirits, and the spirits are moving you emotionally or moving, you know what I'm saying, how you feel on the internal, right? And so there's a certain drug that people call, it's like mushrooms, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the same idea as mushrooms. It's what they call a psychedelic drug. And so this psychedelic drug, they say, when you take it, you just get taken up and you can hear stuff talking to you. And it's as if you died already. And then you go into this this other realm, and you can kind of examine yourself, and your thoughts are all clear and all this. And some people take it. Some people even say, you know what? This is how, you know what I'm saying, I want people, you know what I'm saying, I want people to experience it. I want my kids to experience this because it helps them kind of settle in on life and their worst fears. It helps them deal with their worst fear. It feels positive. It feels like it's a good thing that's happening. They don't know that this thing that's talking to them, this thing that's guiding them, what do you think this is? You got spirits talking to you. And people think of spirits, when they think of them, they think of like, oh, well, a spirit, you know what I'm saying? Nah, if it was like an evil spirit or something, it would be telling me die and kill myself. Is that how evil spirits work?
Not really.
Oh, we got grab Genesis chapter Genesis chapter 4. Give me like verse 11. Let's see if I overshot it a little bit. Genesis chapter 4, give me about verse 11. Hey, turn that TV down.
And he said, who told thee that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree?
Give me Genesis chapter 6, verse 11. Nah, give me Genesis chapter 6, verse 11. Is that what I want?
The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was
6. Yeah, I don't want 6. Who told you were naked is 4?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. And you are cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive
your
brother's blood. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So that's verse 11?
4:11, yeah.
Give me maybe 15. Give me like verse 15.
And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slays Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest anything should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name.
Enoch builded a city, right? And what did he do?
He called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mahuhalel.
Right, look, they start having all these kids. Watch this.
And Mahuhalel begot Methuselah. Methusiel. And Methusiel begot Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah.
Okay.
And Ada bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such that have cattle.
Right? So Jabal was the one, he started the tents. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't running around with tents before Jabal. Somehow Jabal, he woke up and he figured out, oh, I can make a tent. Right? And keep my cattle with it. Watch this.
And his brother's name was Jubal.
Look, and then Jubal, watch what Jubal did.
He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ.
Look, he had the harp and the organ. He came up with music. He woke up one day and was like, let me just pull music out. Let's just start playing music. Right? Keep going.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
So look, then Tubal Cain, he started dealing with instruments. He started to manipulate brass and iron, bronze and iron. Somehow he figured out if we heat this up enough, right? We can melt this thing down to reshape it, shape it into something else. Ooh, well, what do you know now? I got a darn pickaxe. And I can use this pickaxe to hit this dirt and get more out of the ground. I don't know how they figured this stuff out. They just woke up one day and was just like, all at one time too. It ain't telling you about all this stuff. This is all one generation of children that all came up with this stuff all at one time. It just happened to be this guy's kids. How in the world did that happen? Let me tell you how. Sons of God. You read the book of Enoch, it'll tell you the sons of God came down and they start giving information to the people. Oh, man, if you do this, you sick? No, this is medicine. How you think, listen, if you go, before we, you know what I'm saying, had this medical and all this stuff, like the medical system that we had, how in the world did these ancient people figure out if I mix this random berry with this random berry, put it in here and pour a little bit of this on there and twist? We got moms and grandmothers and great grandmothers from the South that got these weird, like, how in the world did you bump into that? How in the world did you just accidentally figure out, oh, if I take this and pitch it with this and twist it in this and slap it on your ear, that's gonna get rid of your cough? This weird stuff. Like, where'd that come from? I can tell you. Sons of God. Not saying our grandmothers were talking to the sons of God, right? What I'm saying is these things are handed down from a son of God coming to you and be like, nah, man, all you got to do is take that, twist that, make that, put it in there. You'll be all right. That heal that sickness. Because they're not necessarily telling you go kill yourself. These sons of God are not, these spirits are not necessarily trying to kill you physically, right? All they doing is tempting you. They tempting you to go against God. And sometimes you don't tempt people to go against God by feeding them poison directly. You tempt them by saying, hey, why don't you have a bite of that fruit on the tree? Right? There's a fruit sitting there on the tree. Why don't you just get that one? Nah, Most High God told me don't touch that one. I mean, but don't you know when you eat it, it'll make you what?
Knowledge of good and evil.
It's gonna make you wise.
Wise. Like.
Does that sound like somebody trying to kill you? That sound like somebody trying to hurt you? So now when I take this drug and somebody tell me like, oh man, you scared of heights? Deal with that. And I got a voice telling me that and then taking me through an experience of being at great heights and I'm no longer scared of it. That feels great. Probably feels as great as taking eating a fruit from the tree of knowledge of evil and then feeling like, oh, I know what's going on now. Those are positive things, it feels like, except for the fact you had to disobey God's word to do it. Right? So like we have to rethink Christianity, and a lot of these mainstream religions have caused us to think in these these simple one-sided mindsets where it is not of God. That means it is evil. That means it is trying to kill me immediately and I'll be able to see that it's trying to kill me. No. Do you understand that this man invented lies, Satan? You understand that he was a liar from the beginning and he's the what of lies?
The father of all lies.
That he's the daddy of lying. Do you understand who we dealing with? All of us in here tried to get a girl before. When we come to it, nah, man, I got 17 of them right now. I got them on a little rotation. I just want to add you to the rotation. I ain't gonna lie. Me and my man kind of, you know what I'm saying? But in general, you know what I'm saying? In general, you know what I'm saying? That's not how, you know what I'm saying? What you doing? Oh, hey, baby, you look beautiful today. You know what I'm saying? No, I treat you nice, this, that, and another, right? We all them look, the man started that. And we get that stuff off and we know this is trash. They be knowing we lying. And still fall for it. I'm trying to tell you, the man is better than that. Satan, he better than that. You ain't gonna know. Whoever somebody knocked on their door or you got caught by a salesman and you bought some stuff and it's like, man, I don't know where, man. They good, ain't they? You bought a car before? Yeah. You ever, you know what I'm saying, after you bought a car, like, crap. Mm-hmm. Felt good when you bought it, though, didn't it? You was in there rattling off that thing. Oh, yeah, they start showing you that thing clean. It clean. You get, what they make you do before you ever wanted to buy a car and like, no, I know for a fact I want that car. I don't even need to test drive it. Anybody ever feel like that? What they do? They let you get it without test driving it? No. Oh, boy, you better sit your butt in this darn car. What's wrong with you? No, come over here. I know. It's plenty of time to do that. Sit down. See yourself in it. Let's just drive it around the corner real quick. I kid you not. Go to a car dealership, right? Next time you're buying a car. And just tell them you got, tell them I like 3 of these cars. Just be like, man, I like that one, and I like that one. Right? Before they talk, be like, I want to talk turkey about, I might buy any of these cars. Bring me out the paperwork for all of them, and let's just see. Let's see if they do it. No, they gonna make you go through and figure out which one you want. They gonna make you get emotional about one of them, right? They gonna be looking at your wife or your girl eye. They want to know which one is the one, because once we got the one, oh, now I can do some lying, because it's emotional at that point. Who you think they get it from? If that work on us, do we feel attacked by that? It's a lie all the same. Do we feel attacked by it? No, not until after we pay them our money. It's the same thing with Satan. Same thing with the sons of God. Same thing with this stuff that's going on. Most High God knows that and he sees that. So now he's saying, okay, I'm judging these folks based off of that. Sons of God came on the scene. He flooded the earth. Sons of God is on these people. He let us kill men, women, and children as a judgment against those people. Right? This is how it's happened. So Moses is recapping all this. And in Deuteronomy, that's what we deal with. So now let's go back to Deuteronomy. We're going to do Deuteronomy chapter, I think we left off at 4. It's Deuteronomy chapter 4. We're going to do verse 1. He's still taking us through the wilderness. Our time in the wilderness, rather.
Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that you may live, and go on and possess the land which the Lord, the God of our fathers, has given you.
That's right.
You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that follow Baal Peor, the Lord thy God has destroyed them from among you. But you did.
He talking about what happened with Balaam, what we were just talking about, right? Where they,
that,
you know what I'm saying, they sent the women to trick us, you know what I'm saying? We started worshiping their God. Most of our guys, you know what I'm saying, he struck out against us. Keep going.
But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do so in the land where you go to possess.
All right, he said statutes and judgments. He's saying, I taught you the correct things to do, is what he's saying. I've given you the commandments of the Most High God. I've given you what God wants you to do, right? So he's letting them know, it's like, man, y'all saw what happened, right? Y'all saw what happened when y'all start worshiping other gods and running around after these girls. You seen what happened, right? All them boys are dead. But the ones of y'all that didn't do that, y'all all still alive right now. He's letting you know, this is proof. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be all right. And then he came back and said, look, now I've taught you the statutes. So he's letting them know, you don't have no excuse. I've given you the right things to do. You've seen what happened if you don't do those things. I've given you the right things to do. He's reminding them because it's like, I'm not going to be here. I can't go over there with y'all. I need y'all to get this, right? Keep going. Watch this.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
He said, say that for one more. This is one of my favorite verses. Watch this.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Y'all have to, I was explaining this to my son who's asleep. I was explaining this to him the other day. It's important that you understand, a lot of people want to be smart. A lot of people want to do this book. Wisdom is simple, right? Wisdom is dividing right from wrong. You can be wise and still be evil, right? Like there's people that's very wise in gangbanging. Because in the sphere of gangbanging, there's still a idea of right and wrong within that sphere. This is the right, you ain't supposed to be snitching. You know what I'm saying? And when you dealing with somebody on this type of deal, you got to handle it this way. So you can be wise in gangbanging. Only because you are able to recognize this is the right way to handle it, this is the wrong way to handle it. The book causes you to be wise in spiritual things and in life. Physical life and in spiritual life, right? Because you can recognize what's right physically and spiritually. You can recognize what's wrong physically and spiritually, right? Once you have wisdom, the rest of the world, it's like a key to understanding everything or anything. I don't want to say everything, but anything, right? The more wisdom you have, no matter what's in front of you, you're able to reduce it. And you think of division, right? You learn division, right? And you start to do division on fractions, right? And so they throw these big old fractions at you, right? You got, okay, well, you got 3 over, you know what I'm saying? You got 3 over 7. And then you got, you know what I'm saying? You might got, I don't know, I'm trying to think. You might
put 1 over 4, then you got 0.25.
Well, no. You got, let's say you got 3, you know what I'm saying? You got 3 over 21, and then you got 1 over 7.
Okay.
Right? So you look at that, you like, man, how do I don't know I don't really know how to deal with this problem and this, that, and other. And then they teach you, oh, now you got to break this one down to the most simple way. You know what I'm saying? The most simplest form of this, that thing got to be broken down. Then you can solve this equation. That's what wisdom does, right? That's what mathematics try to teach you. All of mathematics is like you dealing with geometry. It's gonna tell you what to find the radius. You got to do. I don't remember this stuff, but you got to. You know what I'm saying? The radius is gonna be what? It's half of the. Yeah, I think half of the circumference. No, it's 2 times.
No, the radius is half, right? Because the radius goes right into the middle.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be half of your circumference, right? So now I got to solve for the circumference, which is going to be radius, you know what I'm saying, this radius over, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like math, all it is knowing the right formula and knowing not to do the wrong formula, right? And no matter what's thrown at you, if you got that formula in basic arithmetic, you can figure that out, right? That's how life is. This is the formula. So you get the book that's full of formulas. No matter what's thrown at you, what happens is you're able to like, I'm not confused by all this stuff at the top. All that's noise. I'm not confused. Like, you can't confuse me. At the end of the day, I'm like, whoa. But why did he make that choice? Or why are we going about it this way? Because my mind is just trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong. I don't care about how people feel. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I don't care what color, what. No. What's right and what's wrong. And that's what makes people so uncomfortable in Christianity and all these other religions. I pick on Christianity because it's the one that is one of the ones that try to line up with this book. But all these religions, because they ain't based in nothing. So what happens is you have a lot of emotions and opinions that's involved with it, right? So people tell you, I'm a Christian. And then they'll come back and tell you, this person is not a real Christian, or that's not a real Christian. Well, how do you determine what's right and what's wrong for a Christian? Right? Then they come back to you and they tell you, well, you can't do that because I got a personal relationship with God. Right? What's wrong for you might not be wrong for me. God loves everybody. So now there's no determination of what's right and wrong. So what does that do for the Christian? That Christian individual cannot determine what's right and wrong. Therefore, they don't understand many things. They're not going to understand the book. They're not going to understand life. They're going to keep circling. They're going to keep going back and forth. They're going to always be confused because they're not able to identify the basic right and wrong of life. Right? So now, again, wisdom is what?
Wisdom is the right from wrong. Dividing right.
Knowing right from wrong. Right? What we just talked about the fruit of the knowledge of what?
Good and evil.
The fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right and wrong. And what did Satan tell them, or what did the serpent tell them that fruit would do for them?
Make them wise.
Get it real quick, because I just want people, I don't want them to think we making it up. This is Genesis chapter 3, give me verse 1. Give me Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, verse 6, right? Give me Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. I just don't want y'all to think I'm making it up. This is book. These are the things that, like, if people knew our law and we knew our law, we would be way ahead. We'd be way ahead, right? It's good to be smart, right? It's good. It's good. What is smart?
Smart?
Yeah. What does it mean to be smart? What does that, you know what I'm saying? What does that mean?
To be able to understand things.
No, not necessarily, right? Smart is having information. I have information. I have stuff. I memorize it or whatever. I have access to it. That's smart. I've read many books. I've done many things. You give me a fact, I can get it off. right? It's good to be smart. You need it. You have access to information. Oh, but it's better to be wise. Because in wisdom, now you can gain understanding. With wisdom, you can get understanding. Right? And more importantly, with whatever you do know, whatever smarts you do have, oh, you're going to use that a lot more. You can use that a lot more effectively. Right? Because now it's not just I'm a fact machine and I know what the facts are. Now I know how to take those facts and make it work for me. Right? I know how to take the fact that, you know what I'm saying, in 1992, you know what I'm saying, there was this German war, this, that, and the other. So that's one thing to know that. Right? There's another thing to be able to say, all right, so when I go to Germany, because of that war, the people are going to act this way and this, that, and the other. So the right thing for me to do is to act, you know what I'm saying, to treat them this way and say this to them because they still dealing with that. That wasn't too long ago for them. Right? That's just the difference of having understanding and wisdom versus just smarts. What we want to have is all three. You got all three, you the man. Right? But the basics, the piece that's going to get you through is wisdom. Right? This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 6.
But the fruit of the tree, wait, let me do verse 4.
All right, it's Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. Watch the book
The
say.
serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die, for God does know that in the day you eat thereof, your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise.
A tree to be desired to what?
Make one wise.
A tree to be desired to what?
Make one wise.
That's book. When you have the knowledge of good and evil, that makes you wise. When you know right from wrong, good from bad, that makes you wrong. That makes you wise. Right? So now she got it from a source that the Most High God said don't get it from. That makes her a very wise sinner. Right? Adam also did. That makes him a very wise sinner. Now let's go back to Deuteronomy. Where were we?
4 verse 6.
The Genesis chapter. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Watch the book say.
Keep thereof and do them, for this is your wisdom in your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Moses is telling us that you can be wise by the commandments, not through a fruit that he told you don't touch. Through the commandments, this will be your wisdom in the sight of the people. When people look at you, they're going to be like, man, that's a wise man. To this day, when people call me wise or man, you know what I tell them? I'm telling you, man, I get it from the law of my God. Be telling them that stuff at work too. They don't know what I'm darn talking about. They mess their head up. I'm like, oh, yeah, moving along. Zippity-doo-wop. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what I'm darn talking about. But I know where it come from. I get it. I understand. I used to pray for it all the time. Just, oh God, just give me wisdom. Right? And after that prayer, guess what? I just got this yearning to read the law. I don't know where it come from. I just want to understand, like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, why does this have to do this? Well, that's what the man is telling me. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? You want to be wise, is what you got to do. Ain't none of this stuff magic. You know what I'm saying? You think he just going to sprinkle some dust on you? Like, oh, I'm a Christian now. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with these people? You got this stuff at work. You got to dedicate yourself to this. This whole thing is what? What is this that we're going through, this existence that we're going? What is it? Why are we going through it?
So we can see where we're going to end up in the end.
Why we got to see? Why God just can't tell us?
Nah, you got to go through the process.
For what? Why does he want us to go through the process?
Because he went through it.
You got to see it through, huh? So when the scientist got to see it through, what is that?
It's work. You putting everything together. You know what I'm saying?
He's testing us. He's proving it out. If I say to God, man, I love you, God. You know what God gonna say?
Prove it.
Prove it. Prove it. Let me see. Let me see what you got then. Then he gonna sick him on you. Like he said he loved me. Him right there. He said he loved me. You know what I'm saying? He said he gonna keep all my command. He gonna do everything I say. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing to him. Satan, sit your butt down. He ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Him? He said he loved me. Let's see if you can make him sin then, Satan. Since you so bad, say, let me see. I'm telling, he just said that he loved me. Go make him sin then. Satan can bring his butt right on down. Man, you know it's rough. Rough out here. You know what I'm talking about? Your job. It might just lay you off. You know what you might want to do. You know what I mean? You know what you might want to do. Go, you know what I mean? Look, I'm just saying. Right? So all that's in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you bump into the homie from high school. He doing it too. Man, no, man, why don't you just come over here, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, that's done. Right? Or life just going good for you. Oh, things are sweet. Married, wife, kids, good job, everything nice. Right? Then that one just walked by. You know what I'm talking about? The one though. You know what I'm saying? The one is like, man, I was supposed to get that one. And she just walked by. You know what? Man, well, you know, it don't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying? And then it happened. That's how it works. It ain't no like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be no, I'm the devil and I'm gonna attack you because you said you love God. Man, it ain't happening that way. It's just never gonna happen that way. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna be a tough time, and then your cousin gonna come to you and be like, nah, man, you can claim my kids on your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Just write this down. You know what I mean? I can just write it down, say they mine, and I took care of them for the year. Oh, ain't no harm in that. Lie, just like that on paper. Right? That's how it happened. It's going to be a perfect opportunity. It's going to solve a need that you got right now because your butt too scared to trust God to go through something tough. And we make so many bad decisions, it don't leave no room for just stuff to go tough for us. Right? We know people, and some of us are people who got the tough life because we make so many terrible decisions. Right? But life, no matter what, let's say you make all the best decisions. Look, I spent my whole life stressing about making the best decisions. Like oh, don't make that mistake. Don't make that, but like stressing it. And guess what still happened? Stuff that I ain't got no control over, something I couldn't do nothing about, just come through and just knock everything over. No matter what. And that's me with thinking about every little thing to the point where I have no sleep. I'm just up at night thinking about, I could do that. Okay, I could do that. If I do it that way, don't do it that way. Do it. They probably thinking this. And just going psycho, trying to make the best decisions, right? And still can't control stuff. So now that happens. Then imagine the person that's making bad decisions. They got to deal with the consequence of their bad decisions. And then they got to deal with the stuff that they just can't control. It was going to happen that way anyway. You don't have the mental room. That's why these people, you know what I'm saying, go and turn the other way. Because I don't, mentally and physically and emotionally, I don't even have the space to try to get through this with wisdom. I've already spent that from dealing with my bad decisions. The consequences of my bad decisions. Now, when this happens, it just feels like, oh, everything always go bad. And when stuff happened to it, we don't have a way of separating me like, well, no, all of these went bad because I just be taking risks and doing stuff I probably shouldn't be doing, right? This one I had no control over. But in our mind, all of it's the same. Oh, it's so unfair, right? Well, like, nah, it's only so unfair, you know what I'm saying, a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, that thing fair, though. Most of the time, that thing happened because of what you did. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Right? But that's tough to separate. Well, with wisdom, you can separate that. With wisdom, you'll be able to say, oh, no. That was wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong. I shouldn't have been doing none of that. I got whatever's coming to me. Let's keep going. Watch this.
And which shall hear of all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who has God so near unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to yourself and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. But teach them to your sons and your sons' sons, especially the day that you stood before the Lord your God in Horeb, when the Lord said unto me, gather the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. And you came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burnt with fire unto the midst of heaven, and with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only you
He said, you saw what?
You saw no similitude.
Right? Remember, we talked about that during the Feast of Weeks. Who's the only similitude of God? Yahushua, that's it. You don't see no similitudes. So it don't make no sense if I'm a, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say if I'm a good Christian though. Right? It wouldn't make any sense for me to hang a picture on my wall of the white Jesus with his head cocked like this and his hands like this. You know what I'm saying? And he got the little Mexican beard. You know what I'm saying? There's always a Mexican beard at the top. And at the bottom is a white man beard. I be trying to figure out, like, how is that even? You know what I mean? But he got his hand cocked like that. And then, you know what I'm saying? He's just looking. And it's like, oh, and he always got that soft face. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's wrong with him?
What about the one when he like looking like he like kind of like with that straight face? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Looking straight. You know what I mean?
It's like, where did y'all get that picture from? Because the book that we all say we believe just told me I saw no similitude. After he told me I saw no similitude, what did he say after that?
You saw no similitude, you only heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform. Even the 2 commandments he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments that you might do them in the land wherever you go to possess.
You remember that? So you remember it started off with the 10 commandments. The Most High God stopped because the people were like, oh, hold on. Then after that, Moses continued on. He started teaching the people all the commandments because the Most High God, he went up to the Most High God. He told them the different commandments. And Moses came down and started teaching them to the people. Right? So Moses is recapping this instance. This is at Mount Sinai. He just called it Mount Horeb. Right? But same thing. He's talking about Mount Sinai. That's when there was the mountain. Moses was like, yo, in 3 days, this is about to happen. Don't nobody climb up on top of the mountain, set a barrier around it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who do it, what's going to happen to them?
Just thrust through.
They get shot through, book said, right? So then, you know what I'm saying, it was thunder, lightning, scary. We looking at it like, what in the world? I ain't never seen nothing, earthquakes, everything shaking. It's a scary scene. Then a voice come out. What the voice sound like?
Fire, thunder.
That thing sound like thunder. That thing roaring like raw. You know what I'm saying? You got this loud voice, super loud. Everything shaking. The more it shake, the more the voice talk. You know what I'm saying? Everything shaking. Fire coming off at the top of the mountain. You think it's gonna explode. You think everybody's about to die, and you think it's only because this thing is talking that it's happening. So by the time he get to the 10th commandment, but before he get to the 11th, you know what we saying? Whoa, stop. Because this whole time, Moses, you been talking to him, and we ain't had to hear that voice, and you just been telling us what he said, and we ain't had none of these problems. Now all of a sudden, we can hear him directly, and we all about to die. So how about we go back to how it was? You go talk to him, and you bring the message back to us. We think that's a lot more safe. He gonna tell you, watch this, keep going.
And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments that you might do them in the land where you go to possess. Take therefore good heed unto yourselves, for you saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire. Lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, likeness of any beast that is
So
on
I'm
the
trying
earth.
to see likeness of male or female. So I'm trying to figure out how you got Beetlejuice hanging on the darn wall. Look at it. You know what I'm saying? Or hanging from the darn cross like this. You got your darn Jesus piece. You got a fish. Watch it. Keep watching. Watch it.
The likeness of any beast that is on the earth.
All right. So no beast that's on the earth. That got that. Okay, keep going.
The likeness of any winged bird that flies in the air.
So the bottom of your Bible got a dove on it. That got that. Because that's a winged bird flying in the air that you put on your Bible that represents a dove. And the dove represents who?
Yahushua.
The Spirit. Remember, the Spirit descended down on Yahushua in the form of a dove. That's why you put that dove there. So now the Spirit of God for you is a dove. And now you made an image of it. So now you worshiping the image.
The likeness of anything that creeps on the ground.
Uh-huh.
The likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth.
What they be putting on the back of their little car? You ever drive behind a car and they got that little, you know what I'm saying, got that little fish there?
In the middle of the fish, it has the word Jesus in it.
It be putting the cross or the word Jesus in the middle of the dark. Sometimes the eyes is a cross.
Yeah.
I be looking at this stuff, I be looking like, oh, y'all doubling up the sin. You can't sin fast enough. Man, tell you right here in the book that we all say we believe, don't make any figure of something that's beneath in the water. And you know what a bright idea, the bright Christians say, you know what? How about we draw a fish, guys? Slap it on the back of our cars and at the bottom of our Bibles. What sense does this stuff make? Man, tell you exactly what not to do and what we go do. And I ain't gonna put that stuff on us. I'll tell you where that stuff came from. Ain't nobody gonna talk to y'all about where it really came from. I'll tell you where that stuff came. You know, ask a Christian where the fish came from. Watch they dodo birds say, oh, well, you know, Jesus fed. Right? He fed 5,000 people with fish. Was it 5,000 or 4,000?
It's like one place is at 4,000, and then another place is at 5.
Yeah.
He fed 5,000 people with the fish. Oh, that's why you doing it. That's where it came from. You know what I'm saying? He also made some darn wine. Where that figure at? He was saying stupid. I mean, just saying stupid. Why out of all the stuff he done did, why is the fish the one? That's the one that y'all draw a picture of?
He gave a lot of bread too.
The man was handing out bread the whole darn time. I ain't never seen no Christian draw a piece of bread on the back. That ain't as sexy. You know what I'm saying? You draw, you know what I'm saying, a loaf of bread. Who gonna draw? Look at who wanna worship a loaf of bread? Anybody want to? You know what I'm saying? They draw the fish. They come up with that one. No, that's not where the fish came from. Fish came from that. You know what I'm saying? That's that ancient Roman stuff. Yep. All the stuff that they do, it come from stuff, this ancient pagan stuff that, you know what I'm saying, these people did in the countries that they converted in.
Yep. Exactly.
And they twist that stuff and they bring it over and they repurpose it. You ever say, you know what I'm saying? You know how to what they call it when like a you know what I'm saying, like if somebody, you know what I'm saying, like one of these white folks on Cinco de Mayo dress up like a black
Cultural appropriation.
There we go. You know what I'm saying? It's a culture, you know what I'm saying? Like if a little white man dress up like on Halloween like an Indian. You know what I'm saying? They call that cultural appropriation. Right? That's all this is. Like Christianity, that's all it is. They appropriated all these different people culture, and then they make Christmas and Easter and all these weird holidays that ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. They make that stuff out of it. They give you all these traditions like the cross, right? Before the cross, you know what they used to call it? It's a different symbol, but
Crucifix?
Before that, the Cairo,
Yeah, something like that.
right? And it wasn't quite a cross. It was like a little,
Yeah, like a circle on it?
yeah, like a little loop-de-loop, you know what I'm saying? Similar figure, but that's what it was, a Cairo. Well, the Cairo come from some other religion.
Like Egypt, like them things they used to have on
Not the Ankh,
yeah.
but it's similar to the Ankh. So not the Ankh though, right? I said the Egypt one is the Ankh, but it's similar to the Cairo is similar. Somebody look up the Cairo. Let me see if I can look up the Cairo real quick so y'all can see it. I think I'll spell it right. Let me see if I can look this thing up real quick so y'all can see it. Let me see. I think it's Kai. That ain't how you spell it. Let me see. Cairo. Let me see if I can find one of these things. Yeah, all this stuff, man, it come from weird places that they don't give us they don't really give us the whole, you know what I'm saying, story behind. Yeah, I can't find a good image of one of them. I have to try to look it up later. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm spelling it right. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It got, you know what I'm saying? If you look at it first, it looked like a cross, but it's really not a cross. That stuff come from something before. The cross was later, it was a repurpose of that. So it's like, oh, well, instead of, you know what I'm saying, we always used to have this, well, for Christianity's sake, they kept on using it to worship, you know what I'm saying, what they call their Jesus. And then they used the cross after that to cover up and like, okay, we can't use that no more. Let's use the cross instead because, I mean, it looks the same and he hung on the cross. Right? And it's important to understand how easy it is for that to happen, how easy it is to justify that. Let's say you got all the best intentions. You got all of the best intentions. Your friend has the Cairo and he worshiping some sun god. Somebody taught you about Christianity, the one true God, and you believe it too. And this Christianity thing, the way that they taught you, they said, look, it don't matter what you do, just believe in Jesus and you're going to be saved, right? So then you look over at your buddy who has this cross and he worshiping the sun god, be like, man, trust me, the same thing that you do, you don't have to change a thing. Just worship this guy and you'll be saved. So keep your Cairo, keep your Sunday worship, keep everything that you are accustomed to doing. But now, just do it towards him. That, if you're not wise, that feels innocent and good. If you don't know right from wrong, that feels like the right thing to do. I just saved this man. I told him how to have eternal life because I told him believe it. And that's what we see in the Christian churches that in their mind, they think they're doing you a favor. Won't you come? If you're feeling anything in the back right here, won't you come up to the front and then repeat this prayer after me. When you don't know right from wrong, when you're not wise, oh man, Pastor is so good. He sat down, he prayed with me, and then he put me in what was the startup classes that they had for the ones that just, you know what I'm saying, sat in the chair in front of everybody, looking like darn idiots. Mm-hmm. They have like a special Bible study for them. Vacation what they call Bible it? School? Not vacation Bible school. They had like a man, I can't think of it. But you know what I'm saying? They had like a new disciple, you know what I'm saying? Like a new something, you know what I'm saying? Like a new member class or a new, you know what I'm saying?
I remember this Baptist church in one time I went to years ago. I remember it was something like that.
Yeah,
but it was something like that.
After you sit down, repeat that prayer after them on that Sunday, you know what I'm saying? They hold you back and then they put you in this new class. You do a little Bible study or whatever. You learn a little bit and they get you, you know what I'm saying, affiliated. Then you become a member and you can start paying tithes just like everybody else. Right? And that's the process. It's like, yeah, just keep turning and burning. In they mind, man, you don't need to know the deep details of this stuff. The only thing that matters, what's the only thing that matters?
Jesus, that's it.
Just believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins. You do that, nothing else matters. And when that's the mindset, well, why would I teach you all the details? Why would I teach you what's right and wrong? It don't matter. All you need to know is that he died for you and you just need to believe on him. Mind your own business about everything else. That's not important. We can get to that. So that's why these churches, they going to preach the same simple messages every single Sunday. That's why you can sit in these churches for 3, 4, 5, 10 years and not learn a thing about the Bible. You think you know the Bible. And then you meet somebody like one of us that'll open that book to you and realize, I ain't never heard of nothing in this Bible. I've been going to church for 10 years. There are people going to church, been in their church for 10 years, and when they got a question about the Bible, who you think they come to? It's offensive to me. Or you won't come sit down and learn from me, but you know you paying attention enough to know that your pastor ain't got no answer for you. and this is a serious topic, and you know somebody going to find it. Oh, okay, let me reach out to T. Let me reach out to Philip. Right? Don't reach out. It might save your life. You know what I'm talking about? But you better stop playing with God. Because you know you ain't getting nothing. You know you ain't getting nothing. Keep going. Let's see what the book says.
Unless you lift up your eyes unto heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, you should be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord your God has divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. Mm-hmm. But the Lord has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron.
That's what these people do. They serve these stars, these planets, and all this stuff. Most like God said, He divided that. He like, that thing ain't even special. You know what I'm saying? I divided that thing for everybody under the heaven. Everybody on earth get a little piece of that. You looking at these stars like, oh wow. They like, man, everybody get. You know what I'm saying? That same experience you get. Everybody getting that experience. You know what I'm saying? That thing ain't nothing. Right? You worshiping something that everybody get a piece of that. How you gonna look up, see stars, and be like, oh, wow. Give me guidance. You better shut your darn mouth. Keep going, watch this. What does the book say?
But the Lord has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. Mm-hmm. Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and sware that I should not go over the Jordan, and that I should not go in unto that good land, which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance. Mm-hmm. But I must die in this land. Mm-hmm. I must not go over Jordan, but you shall go over and possess that good land. Mm-hmm. Take heed unto yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make you a graven image or the likeness of anything which the Lord your God has forbidden you. Mm-hmm. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God. When you shall beget children and children's children, and you shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of the Lord thy God. To
look how Moses talking to him. Moses ain't talking to him like maybe you might. He looking like, listen, when this happened, because Moses already know. He looking at, look, when this play out this way, what's going to happen, Moses?
I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that you shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto you go over Jordan to possess it. You shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen, wherever the Lord shall lead you.
Right, and that's where we are now. What they call us in this land?
Negroes.
Negroes. What else they call us?
Black.
Black. What else they call us?
African American.
African American. What else they call us?
Colored.
Colored. What else they call us? What else? Give me another one.
Nigger.
Yeah. What else they call us? What else they call us?
What?
All right, turn on the news right now. What they gonna call us?
Black.
Black. Who?
Minorities.
They gonna call us what?
Minorities.
They gonna call us what?
Minorities.
Okay. What? So now look at this again. Watch what this say.
And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen.
If you few in number, what are you?
Minority.
He told us how this thing was going to play out from the very beginning. Moses in there, he looking at it. He like, looking. If you do these things, you're going to be all right. I already know you're not going to do it. So therefore, I just want heaven and earth be a witness for me. Right? He looking like, I can't trust y'all to be the witness. I need, look, heaven and earth. Y'all be my witness. I told these boys the right way to do it. And when they don't do it right, this is what's going to happen to them. You're going to go to this land, you're going to get kicked out of this land, and the Most High God going to scatter you amongst the nations, and you're going to be minorities wherever you go. In other words, what he's saying is, he going to say, I'm splitting you up around other people's nations so that I'm going to make sure it's not enough of you to outnumber these people. Wherever you go, you're going to be darn minorities. So that's why these people are like, man, I'm going to, if Trump get back in office, you know where I'm going? I'm going back to Africa. And they think, in their mind, they think, I'm going there, because you know why? We the majority there. And guess what happens when they get there? They be like, no, I mean, we all black. You know what I'm saying? For sure we all black. But you a Kata. You know what I'm saying? Like, we call you a Kata. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a different black from us. You know what I'm saying? And then you're a minority again. You get treated differently again, and they still racist. And that's when you learn, oh, it ain't got nothing to do with skin color. These curses we talking about ain't got nothing. I mean, white people is indiscriminate. You know what I'm saying? When they discriminate, they indiscriminate. You know what I'm talking about? They looking at it like, I can't really tell which one of y'all is Hebrew. All y'all black folk get out my darn way. You know what I'm talking about? I don't have time to be trying to, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me see. Do you got the high cheekbones? Okay. No, you're a Hamite. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for all that. All y'all black butts can get it. Right? That's what we look at. That's why the police treat us the way that they treat us. All this stuff because we're minorities. We know how the police, why and how the police was started to protect property. Whose property?
White folk.
And whose property were we?
White folk.
So if we run away, somebody got to be organized to get us. And if we set free, somebody got to be organized to make sure our broke butts don't run up inside of their stuff. Yeah. So now I got to organize the homeowners association to make sure my property value is good. And I set up barriers to make it tough for anybody else who come up in here. Like all these things are set up for that reason. So now we look at the police and we see how they treat it and we be looking like, man, that thing ain't right. But really it's right. For them in the way that they was established in the history that they have, it's like the reason why this is so tough is because, well, I was designed for this purpose. Like this part of my design is to make it tough for you. Part of my design is for you to be my target. So yes, when I'm rolling around, it's natural for me to, you know what I mean, pull over, you know what I'm saying, see you, be like, oh no, light him up immediately. Go ahead and light him up. Like I would design it with you as an enemy. So yes, it's natural for me to fear for my life because that for you are the enemy. And these cops is scary. Let's just get to the bottom. I don't be thinking they lying when they talking about they fear for their life. They scary. And you can see it time and they cover for themselves, but you can see it time and time again in the interactions that they have. These cops are scary. That's why you can see the dude that, you know what I'm saying, in Buffalo, New York, he run up and gun down all them people and apologize to the white man, kill a whole bunch of black folks, drop his gun, and how they take him in? Alive. Meanwhile, you get a man that get out his car, black man, get out his car, start running, and he gets shot in the back. Dead. You can't figure out a way to bring him in. Unarmed, ain't got nothing, wasn't doing nothing threatening, running away. He has to die. Because I'm scared of this black man, because this black man, although he's running away from me, is the enemy in my mind. I was designed for this purpose. I'm fearful. These are regular people that are fearful. And they never want to talk about that piece. That's the piece that we got to talk about. Because now it's starting to affect their kids. Right? Now when you got this boy that killed his grandma, right? Because his butt going crazy. Then he run and do some other foolishness. Right? Get into a shootout there. Then the cops is on his butt now. Now he running. And you know where he decided to run to hide? An elementary school. Then he get into it with the security cop that's there at the elementary, the school security. Maybe he have a shootout with him, details, all over the place about it. right? He's scared. He did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Get into his security. Uh-oh, it happened to be 2 cops on the scene now. What'd he do? Let it off at her. Yeah. Shooting at the cops. How you think the cops responded to that? Put yourself in their shoes. Is that scary? You got to respond to this call. You know shots was fired. You think one person dead at least. You got to show up to this. You got guns drawn, and he eat at you? Yeah. How you think that feels a cop? Oh, that's scary. He's scared too, though. Just like the cops, right? When they got a black man running away from them, they eat. Yeah. Kill him. Well, he's scared now. So he eating at you. Now, when somebody eating at you, what your scary butt do? You duck and darn hide. So now you got 2 cops. I think one of them got hit. I don't think they died, but one of them or 2 of them got hit, right? Something like that, right? Now he run to get into the school to get away. And what does he do? Scared. What does he do? I'm going to go into the classroom. When I get in the classroom, what I'm going to do? I'm going to lock myself in it. And I got kids in here. And outside, it's a bunch of cops. But they too scared to go in there and get them. So this man killed all these kids in a hostage situation. And they never going to tell you that. They never going to tell you that this is a hostage situation. That this man is scared and he's leveraging kids to get out. And they too scared to go get them. It's sick. So leave this man in there for 60 minutes with kids. That's sick. Y'all sick. These are sick people. You yelling at parents, and you got armor on against parents, telling them that they can't go get their babies. You got cops that got kids that go to that school, making sure their babies is out of the school. Yeah, these cops are scary. But let's talk about it. We've been telling you they're scary for a long time. Unnecessarily. Now it's affecting y'all kids. Let's talk about it. Sick of these scary cops. And everybody want to protect them because you ain't supposed to say nothing about cops because you don't know how dangerous they job. Well, get another job. I'd rather it not be no cops because everybody look at it and be like, man, that thing too dangerous. Now we can talk. We can talk if we are honest about what's going on. Now we can talk. I don't get paid enough to do that. Now we can talk. How much money do it cost for you to do it right then? Because I don't want, you look at the budget, what they say about the budget of this city's police office and Jubilate or whatever, however you know what I'm saying, pronounce that thing. And this city's, you know what I'm saying, budget is 60% of the whole city budget, according to what I read. So the cops get 60% of the whole pie. And y'all scary, you can't have, it take a border patrol cop to get this thing done? He got to come from off the border. This ain't even my jurisdiction. Y'all scary but standing around outside fighting with parents that's worried about their darn baby. You got little kids that make it out talking about my best friend. You know what I'm saying? My best friend got killed right in front of me. Because this boy is trying to tell you, I mean business. Let me out of here. They not going to tell you that part. They not going to tell you. They just skip them when if you listen to these people, these sick people, they skip all over it. This man, I think he is the sheriff. He had it almost had me in tears last night. I read this man had the nerve to say, at the end of the day, we saw him, we engaged with him, and we contained him. Did y'all contain him, or did he barricade himself with kids and y'all didn't do nothing about it? You want to skip over that whole part and just say like y'all did what the best you could do? It's sick to me. It's sick to me. It's nasty, the stuff these people do. And nobody want to talk about it. Now it's going to be a talk because it's their kids now. It's their babies now. It ain't little Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? It ain't little, what's the young boy name that, you know what I'm saying, in Ohio where they just pulled up on him and dumped on him?
Tamir Rice?
Yeah. No, that wasn't Tamir Rice. Was it Tamir Rice?
No, that was like the girl or whatever. But I think that some of the boys in the
It might have been Tamir Rice. Yeah.
yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, it might have been Tamir Rice. Yeah, it might, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Little boy, they just unloaded. I think it was Ohio, just unloaded on you. Yeah. Got a little boy. Right? When those type of little isolated incidents happen, it's like, oh, the cop, you know what I'm saying, just fear for the life boy had a little toy gun, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and that, right? No big deal. Figure it out. It's just us mad. Now it's they kids. And you got a cop too scared to save them. Right? Cops might as well kill them kids himself. Now you got to deal with it. Couldn't imagine, bro. I just couldn't imagine, bro. You know what I'm saying? I praise Most High God for his mercy, man. But, man, these people, man, God, you got to judge these folks. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, man. You can't have that thing both ways, man. You got to judge them. You know what I'm saying? Humble me, but judge these folks, man. Sheesh. Ooh, and have mercy on these parents, man. Sheesh. Go to, what we got, man? Keep reading.
And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen, where the Lord shall lead you. And there you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, eat nor smell.
What do you think we do? We got Jesus pieces, wooden Jesus pieces, don't we? Some people even got the stone Jesus pieces. Right?
Some of them try to, get these, what they call the different African figures and stuff. But their ancestors supposed
A lot of people into those rocks now, too. You gain a little rock from your chest. You know what I'm talking about? Well, no, it's just energy and this, that, and other. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mention, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mention, you know what I'm saying, mention nobody's name. But, you know, this is why they're talking to me about energy. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you might not know what you're dealing with. What's energy? When these people be talking about, oh, the energy, what is that? What are we dealing with?
Like spirits.
Damn, it's spirits you talking. What do you think spirits are? See, people don't understand spirits. People don't understand the spiritual realm. Like, remember, spirits you can't see. So we cause it. You remember we talked about the endorphins and all that stuff? All that's energy. But it's also spirits. Alcohol. What do they call alcohol? Where did that come from? Why would you call it that? You get to drinking this stuff and you act a little different, don't you? You under the what?
Under the influence.
What in the world is influencing you? What in the world is causing you to do the things that you would normally tell yourself not to do? Normally, you know what I'm saying? Normally, you would prohibit yourself to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm not going that far. But after I take a couple shots, you know what I mean? Get a little loose, don't you? All that stuff is spirits that you're dealing with. Right? Same thing with the drugs. Same with all that. You're inviting spirits. It's altering your mindset. And once your mindset is altered, it's open. And then what happens is spirits begin to influence you. And it ain't no random theory. It ain't like, oh, today I drink and this random. No, it's the same types of spirits every time. Matter of fact, depending on what you drink or take or whatever you do, it's inviting those same types of spirits. So that's why it's going to have the same reaction just about every time you do it. Keep going.
But if from there you shall seek the Lord your God, thou shalt find him, if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. When you are in tribulation and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if you turn to the Lord your God and shall be obedient unto his voice, for the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not forsake you, neither destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he sware unto them.
He told us what we got to do. Even if we get scattered, even if all these things happen to us, man, all we got to do is turn, confess. Most High God remember the whole thing. That's why we do this. Most High God, at this point, he ain't giving us no miracles. He ain't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? He ain't do nothing to make this big. You know what I'm saying? We in my little small loft. You know what I'm saying? One camera up, a couple people and some kids in here. You know what I'm saying? Handful of people that'll watch online. It's a very small thing, right? He ain't doing nothing to make it big. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not doing nothing to make it big. We just teach the truth. That's it, right? And you have to know that the way this work, whether it's 1, 2, 3, whoever decide to obey this law, statute, and commandment by obeying the Messiah that the law tell you that's going to come, right? Whoever decide to do that, the man is coming back for you. Like, this ain't no like, oh, just believe. And this, that. No, I'm not telling you to just believe. Because the book don't tell you to just believe. Right? The book tell you to believe onto the heart. What that mean?
You gotta obey.
And if I'm just running my mouth, but I'm living however I want to do, what the book say about that?
Yeah, mouth is saying it, but your heart's far from it.
Your heart is going to do, your heart is what causes your behavior. If you got a heart that loves God, guess what type of behavior you're going to have? Behavior that's consistent with his commandment. If you got a heart that's far from God, guess what your behavior going to show? Lies, envying, distress, murders, fornication, adulteries, witchcraft. That's the behavior that's going to come out of you. These people can't trick us. We got wisdom. We got the wisdom in the sight of the people. They can do all this other stuff they want to do. That voodoo stuff ain't going to work on us because we have the wisdom. We know the basics of what's right and wrong. So now any problem you bring to us, what's the common denominator? Okay, at the end of the day, what are we supposed to do? That's why these Christians buy these books constantly. And you know, they look at the books and they be like, okay, what's the purpose of my life? What am I trying to do? Which one am I trying to? You got people that pray to God for anything, and they think they're doing the right thing, right? They think, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with praying to God, so I don't make it. I don't want to, I don't want this to be misunderstood. It ain't nothing wrong with praying to God for everything, right? But you got Christians that pray to God for everything. Like, God, just tell me which color shirt I should choose. Because these are the things that's confusing them. They want to make sure every little step they take is in line with God's will because they don't know the basics of what's right and wrong. When you know the basics of what's right and wrong, when you know what's right and wrong and you walk in it, what can you choose?
You got freedom.
You got free. You do whatever you want to do. I mean, I don't know what God wants. I mean, I'm going to start college and I got to pick my electives and I got to pick my major. So I just been praying all night, like, God, just help me pick the field that actually work for me. Just pray, I mean, God, because this is a big decision, this, that, and other. You can pray to God with what you want. But do you need to pray to God about, I don't want to say that. Is God requiring you to pray to him about something like that? How do you make that decision? You a man of God, you walk in obedience to God. How would you make that decision? Do whatever I darn want to do. I'm a servant of the Most High God. I do whatever I darn want to do. I got the freedom and the servitude of the Most High God. That's the confidence that you have. I'll choose any one of them and it'll work out the way God wanted to. Do it mean, look, I serve God. Do it mean I'm going to be a successful doctor? Might drop out, might get kicked out of darn school. We praying for the wrong stuff. You praying for success in this field. But you ought to be praying that God keep you in the way. No matter which one you land on. Do I want to be a doctor or an engineer? Well, guess what? That's up to you. Just obey whatever one you do. Just make sure you obey all the way through. So when you start going through your class to be a doctor and they get to telling you, well, you know what I'm saying, you have to understand that, the male genitalia is actually the same as the female genitalia. It's just that really it's a social construct that makes us different. And all that stuff, you have to look at it like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but they ain't got nothing to do with reality. You know what I'm saying? That thing is very different from reality. And don't fall into that stuff. You keep the word. You keep the truth and you walk in it. You go to the basis of what's right and what's wrong. And you good. You choose whatever you want to choose. Who knows how it's going to turn out? You fail at being a doctor, you know what I'm saying? As long as you keep the word, then guess what? That's how it's supposed to be. That's the confidence that you have when you know what's right and wrong. Like, man, I know I'm doing the right thing, so whatever happens, guess what? That's how it's supposed to be. We uncertain about stuff because we not doing stuff the way it's supposed to be done. We know that we not, or we don't know, right? Because I'm unsure, now I'm uncomfortable. I don't know which choice to make. Anything like, ooh, what's the right step? When I know I'm making the right steps, man, it's free. Now, you know, I might want to be a doctor today. Might want to be a doctor. I might want to be an engineer tomorrow. Ain't none of your business. You know what I'm talking about? I do what I want to do. I serve the Most High God. People look at that and be like, oh, that's cocky. Oh, well, you ain't never met Job. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't never darn met Job. Ain't cocky, that's confidence. We should be able to walk up and stand in front of God and be like, look, man, I know I did what you told me to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I got here. You know what I'm saying? You just woke me up today. You know what I'm saying? Judgment already? I died? Oh, I know I did what you told me to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? I'm just go ahead and walk right here. What you mean? I know I did what the man told you. You better get your darn hands off me. I'm walking in the darn kingdom. I don't know what you talking about. But don't be touching me, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking in the darn kingdom. I know the man. That's the confidence. I know where we headed. I did what the man told me to do. Yeah, I sinned, but I repented from that stuff. Just like the man told me to. Most High God can deal with that type of confidence. He can't deal with this stuff that y'all, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these people is on. A lot of these people is on this stuff, man. It's like, oh, well, I'm not sure. I mean, well, you just have to wait and see. Why you got to wait and see if the book tell you? Yeah. Book is about having what?
Confidence.
And what's another way to say confident?
Faith.
Faith. Book is about having faith. Ain't about sitting here playing with you, you know what I'm saying? Playing around, acting like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, maybe I'm right, and, you know, you never know. Other people could be right, too. There are a lot of different religions, and everybody has their own take, and sometimes it's cultural. I think there's many gods. I think God communicates to different people in their own different ways. So he created these religions to communicate with this people, but I think ultimately it's all the same. No, man, what the book say, you have zero confidence. You just trying to make it all work because you have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, well, you know, I don't believe in the concept of God. I believe in a higher power and, you know, I'm spiritual and this, that, and that. Yeah, it make a whole lot of sense, but you have no idea what you're talking about. You just making it up as you darn go. That's your imagination running your mouth. Right? Keep going. Let me see.
For ask now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there has been any such thing as this great thing, or has been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard and lived? Or has God essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs and wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? Unto thee it was showed, that you might know that the Lord is God. He is God. There is none else besides him. Out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee. And upon the earth he showed thee his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought thee out of his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt. To drive out nations from before thee, greater and mightier than you are, and to bring thee in, to give thee their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Lord, he is God in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath there is none else. You shall keep therefore his statutes and commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee, and with your children after thee, that you may prolong your days upon the earth, which the Lord your God gives thee forever. Then Moses severed 3 cities on this side of Jordan toward the sun rising, that the slayer might flee there, which should kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing unto these cities he might live, namely Bezer in the wilderness in the plain country of the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead of the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan of the Manassites.
Right? So he separated some cities for the sanctuary cities. These are cities that, you know what I'm saying, if you kill somebody on an accident and somebody wants some revenge for what you did, well, you'll go to these cities and you'll be protected there. Right? Keep going.
And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spake unto the children of Israel after they came forth out of Egypt. On this side of the Jordan in the valley over against Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Israel smote, after they were come forth out of Egypt. And they possessed his land and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side of Jordan toward the sun rising, from Aroer, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto Mount Sion, which is Hermon, and all the plain on this side of Jordan eastward, even to the sea of the plain, under the springs of Pisgah.
That's the end of it?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll pick up next week with chapter 5, and we'll try to read through chapter